What's up, guys? Welcome to the Metal Roofing Channel. I'm Thad Barnette. We're back with another metal market update, steel and aluminum here. This is March 20th as of the date of filming. March 26th is the target date to release this video. And I've got Adam Mazzella from Sheffield Metals here. Thanks for being here, Adam.
Thanks for having me, Thad.
Yeah, so the last time we talked, we were in San Antonio at the International Roofing Expo. We discussed a lot about tariffs, what that means for the steel and aluminum industries and the marketplaces. So in today's video, we're gonna give an update on where we're at right now with both pricing and the market dynamics going forward. So let's talk a little bit about where we are today and kind of what's changed over the last several weeks.
So that was late February. What has happened since then is the Trump administration has really gotten tough with Mexico and Canada on what their expectations are as trade partners. We saw an initial hey, there's tariffs in place in the first week of March, and then they repealed them and they essentially punted the ball till early April. This is on Mexico and Canadian imports. So, for our cause, a lot of steel and a lot of aluminum comes from both of those countries. That caused a continued upward pressure just on domestic steel prices, CRU futures, et cetera. Really, that lasted until the first and second week in March, and then we saw sort of a cooling period. So the CRU has sort of capped out. The Midwest ingot price for aluminum has sort of capped out, and both of them have kind of fizzled. What does that mean? Well, we still are up significantly overall as the market dynamic for both bare steel and bare aluminum. And as we mentioned in the last one, we've had some price increases on both paint and coating services. We hadn't had a paint increase or a coating service increase in over 2 years. So they had captured some increase. We've had some upward pressure. Us, as well as I think most, if not all of the competitors, have all increased their base price.
Okay, yeah, and we're in a little bit of a waiting game right now to kind of see what happens in the next few weeks and kind of what that makes the market do, whether it goes up or just slightly ticks down. So we're still waiting on that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of domestic capacity still anticipated to come online. Most of these are EAF furnaces or EAF mills that we anticipate coming online this year. So that means more domestic capacity. There still is a squeeze on the Canadian imports, the Mexican imports, a lot of the Asian imports, but there still are some exempted countries that are still allowing some of these imports to continue to flow in. So meaning, as they've turned the faucet off, there still is a drip, or a little bit more than a drip, coming in from other areas of the world that aren't just forcing this domestic mill capacity. That was in the low to mid 70s for the last couple of years. It's not like it's forced it to this uncontrollable level that isn't sustainable. So we're sort of in a holding pattern, as you mentioned, waiting to see what materializes with Canada and Mexico as the long-term tariff strategy, what materializes with the Pacific countries that supply flat-rolled products to the United States, and where that ultimately goes. So holding pattern, nothing definitive today, but we'll continue to provide these updates.
So if we look at the market dynamics right now and we're in a holding pattern, what does that mean for contractors? What does that mean for end users, people that are going to be buying this steel and aluminum from a supplier like Sheffield or anyone else?
Sure. I think there's two elements to that I would focus on. You have that short-term buyer. This is the customer, contractor, roll former that's buying job to job to job. Make sure you capture your increases. Don't absorb the increase that us or our competition has passed on. Capture that in your bids, pass that on downstream. I'm not anticipating that going away. So let's hope we find a place of relative stability. That would be fantastic as we head into construction season this year. If you're looking at long-term and you take significant material positions, I would probably be a little tepid. Now, it's not like the market went up 30% on the overall material prices, so you still could take a longer-term position on material. And if the market did go back to, we'll say, pre-tariff levels, you still have to factor in the increases that are not going away from paint and coating services. So if the steel market goes back to pre-tariff levels, you still have a level of painted increases that are just going to stick. So if I were to say, hey, I needed to go buy something long-term, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't think it would hurt to buy something long-term. And let's say the market did contract, you're not stuck with a massive swing in your steel position. So I don't think it would hurt all that bad either.
So why are coating services and paint going up? Is it because of other tariffs or just the market dynamics in general?
Yeah, there's a few things going on. So part of it is other tariffs. A lot of products that we use every day that are a piece of a part or a part of an assembly come from a lot of these countries that are tariffed. So you might be saying, well, it's this item that's now tariffed at 25%, but makes up 10% of this end-use product or good or service. Doesn't mean that product is going up 25%, but it means that product, good, or service is going to go up incrementally in relation to that. So it's very similar, whether
Gotcha.
It's the paint, whether it's skids and pallets that are used for coils that we receive. A lot of the lumber in the United States comes from Canada. Well, there's a significant tariff on items coming into the country from Canada. So a lot of the input, a lot of the pieces of an overall whole, of an overall part, certainly that's a part of it. But, again, we've seen significant inflation over the last few years. I would say the paint companies and the coating companies haven't really participated in increases as the inflation has taken hold.
Gotcha.
And I think part of it was they're getting to see what does stability look like, and then what price adjustments do we need to make. I think it's very difficult, whether it's us or any of our downstream vendors, to go, we had a 2% increase here, you get 2% today, 2% the next day, 2% the next month. That's not really a sustainable way to manage your business. So I think they've waited for a relatively stable point in the market,
Gotcha.
pass that increase along. It coincided with significant increases on the steel and aluminum market.
Yeah. So for those companies, it's just cost of doing business, and they're just applying that increase now.
Yes, and we haven't seen these increases while the rest of the inflation world was running rampant.
Yeah. So wrapping up here, we are expecting some tariff news from the federal government in early April, the first week of April. So we'll be back to talk about those decisions, what that means for us, what that means for the marketplace. But in the meantime, stay close to your supplier, and stay close to this channel as we release those updates, and make sure you're talking to your account manager, planning out your bids, protecting your bid, and we'll be back. So thank you, Adam, for the information. Really appreciate it.
You too. Thanks.
Comment down below if you have any questions. Otherwise, subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel. As always, I'm Barnette. We'll catch you next time.